real fast, Rob Dew, we don't want to make a controversy out of this yet, but there's a popular TV show that airs in Los Angeles. They air different films on the second biggest TV station, broadcast station in the country. We're talking to the guy that aired the Obama deception. I even got some feedback. I was actually in L.A. when it was on, working on some other exciting things. But the point is that they have banned it airing the part 2.
Right. So We the People TV, they get an hour at a time from the station's called KXLA. And Abraham is the head of We the People TV. Anyway, he called me up. They wanted to air Obama deceptions. We sent it to him. And he couldn't cut it down. He wanted to try to get it into 1 hour, and he said he couldn't do it. So they aired part 1. And he said the response was huge. People were calling him up. A lot of people were thankful that he put it on. Some people didn't want to believe it. And he said, well, just research the information. You know, he watched and he said it's all spot on. And then part 2 was supposed to air the next week. And I think so it would have been the 19th and the 26th. It was supposed to air part 2, and they didn't air it. And the owner of the station kept calling up Abraham and sending him emails saying, hey, what's your next program? What's your next program? He keeps telling him, it's on your desk. Part 2 is what we're going to air. That's our next program. And they won't do it. So he's going to go have a meeting with this guy and find out.
Yeah, once we find out the skinny, we'll put out a press release about it being censored. That's why we shot that video yesterday where I'm encouraging everybody to get the free copy, the best YouTube we found, and email it out to everyone because I counted it up, over 20 million views, free online. This one we're sending out to over 3 million or at 3 million. Very, very exciting what's happening. We have got, because this thing shatters the left-right paradigm, exactly what's happening with these crowds right now. So great job, Rob Dew.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you. Rob is doing work on the film, camera work, and producing, doing a fabulous job. And Hooge and a.k.a. Paul Hartman and Mr. Neihart, Jaron's doing a great job. Just want to thank the crew. Going back now, and because I want to put some bookends on this, with the whole left-right paradigm shattering, crowds going after people everywhere. We just played you Cornyn. Lastly, here's Alex Jones 12 years ago, or this would be 1997 or 98. Recently resurfaced on the web. They actually found a low-hit version. I've seen one with about 100,000 views out there. But go ahead and roll it. Here I am confronting Lloyd Doggett at another grocery store.
Being pushed through piecemeal ever since William Jefferson Clinton and the Clintonistas got in. And the main question that I have to you is about the national ID card and the thumb scanners that are being put in the state police departments to get driver's license across the state. Your state, Texas, since '94 has been thumb scanning all to get a driver's license. And now, in the 1997 record, Clinton has now entered it in that he wants urine and blood testing for 25% randomly selected. Now, I know that's 2 questions. Can you first say what your stance is on the national ID card with privacy issues? And then can you answer the urine and blood testing that's now in the Federal Register?
Well, you've asked me about a series of things. One of them is thumbprinting by state police departments. And my suggestion is that you take it up with George Bush. To the extent that there are decisions made by the Texas Department of Public Safety that are done here in the state of Texas.
Sir, it's a federal program.
They are state administered here.
It was mandated by President Clinton.
Well, I suggest that you take up with the state of Texas the way it's operating, and if it doesn't want to do these programs, for it to contact me and other people in the delegation and express that concern.
And then it won't get its highway money.
I welcome your forwarding your concern.
That's extortion, sir. That's extortion.
If you came out to do a radio program, you want to ask questions, but if you want to have a show, you're the...
People have been talking for 10 minutes. I'm going to ask these questions.
You have any other questions?
Yes.
You had the first 10 minutes of Congressman Doggett.
Do you have any other questions that you'd like to ask?
Yes, I have a question to ask you. My question is about the militarization of the police and secret military programs. It was on September 23rd, Lair NewsHour. It's been in all the major papers. What's going on with the Delta Force and local police departments here in Central Texas?
What specifically about?
Al A. Philippus on May 5th kicked out the Delta Force from Bexar County in San Antonio for attempting to bribe him.
I'm not familiar with it.
I have it on video.
well, I'd be glad to get it, and then I'll be glad to comment on it.
I have another question for you, sir.
Okay.
And I'm asking these questions quickly. Others have talked.
Sure, you are.
Patty, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, I don't appreciate your attitude, sir. You had the first time. You're welcome to come out and ask your questions, but all these other people have rights, too.
I don't appreciate you abusing American citizens. You're abusing American... Don't you hit me. He tried to hit me. Don't you abuse American citizens. You're a CFR trash. You're selling this country out.
Thank you for coming out.
We're going to stand against you. You remember that, buddy.
Thank you for coming out.
We stand against you for the Constitution of the United States of America.
Goodbye.
Yeah, you got it. No, we're out here. Let's go. Where's the dinosaur? He tried to... You are a worm. According to their wishes.
Anyways, show me marching out. That was the fun part. This is actually from some local TV show I did. There's another version, unedited, where you see you're actually pushing me from somebody else's camera and being escorted out. Yeah, it's coming up here in just a minute. Anyways, the point is, hey, 1997, 98, I think it was 97, we've come a long way from this to now giant crowds chanting him down. You see, in the beginning, keep rolling it, the patriot is a scarce man, hated and feared. But in time, when his cause succeeds, the timid join him, because then it costs nothing to be a patriot. Yeah, let's get the end. The end's good here.
You have a nice day too, bootlicker.
Rewind it. Mike Rivero, you're great sitting through all this, but it makes the show more informative. Back it up.
Conflagration's coming, smiley face slave. You're like the people that supported the Nazis, and you will pay. Let's go. You have a nice day too, bootlicker.
Man, Mike Hansen has got hundreds of hours of all of this, and I know ours is just rotting in some storage thing for 10 years in 100-degree heat. I know my tapes are ruined. Like, why do I even have storage sheds full of these things? There's just hour after hour after hour after hour, and most of the gold hadn't been put on the web. Smiley face slave, the conflagration is coming. And Mike, it is coming now. Look at us 12 years later. What's happening to Lord Doggett now?
Well, listen, I got to tell you one thing. First comment I have for you, Alex, you got to stop sugarcoating this stuff and start telling these people how you really feel about it.
Oh, man. But, I mean, look at the change from 12 years ago, Mike. You were doing this 12 years ago, 15 years ago.
I was doing this 15 years ago, and yes, it is an amazing change here. And just looking back over this, I don't know, I'm not ready to get into that nostalgia phase yet because we've still got a long way to go here, and this is the crisis point. But yes, looking back, it is such a shock of what it was like in those early days when there were just a few of us out there, and we were getting death threats and attacks and hackers, and the government was wrecking my career in Hollywood and just all that stuff. And now it's reversed around now, where the American people know we've been telling them the truth all along. The government has been lying. They're upset. They're angry. They're not going to put this genie back in the bottle. And I think it's an even money bet whether the federal government will even be here by the end of the year.
Absolutely. Well, we can do whatever we want if we just believe in it and take action and have the truth on our side. I do want to go to some phone calls here, but before you leave us, Mike, I want to get into just all the other incredible news. UK government to install surveillance cameras in private homes. The Times of London, the Telegraph, and others are reporting this like it's no big deal. And they're saying, oh, parents whose kids get in any type of trouble at school, or toddlers that have, if you're poor, you're at risk. We actually covered this in Endgame, where they say kids are put on probation at 2 because of, quote, bad gene pools, that you will now have cameras in the home. But let's just do this now, then we'll go to calls and cover the other news. UK government to install surveillance cameras in private homes. The UK government is about to spend $700 million to install surveillance cameras inside private homes of citizens to ensure that children go to bed on time, attend school, and eat proper meals. This is a boil down from Paul Joseph Watson at prisonplanet.com, but he has the links to the mainstream news story. In fact, guys, go to the original online and click on his links. I want folks to see the mainline stories on this because they'll be in denial. Now the government is embarking on a scheme called Family Intervention Projects, which will literally create a nanny state on steroids, with social services goons and private security guards given an authority to make regular home checks to ensure parents are raising their children correctly. Telescreens will be installed. They already have these all over the streets. I've been yelled at them in England. It has a face yelling orders at you. So it's two-way cameras. So government spies keep an eye on the parents are mistreating kids and whether the kids are fulfilling their obligations under pre-signed contracts with the schools. In the beta test, 2,000 families have been targeted for the program so far, and the government wants to snare 20,000 more in the next 2 years, and the taxpayer will pay for it. Now, same thing in the U.S. You get in trouble now for petty things, and they say, well, take a bracelet and take a camera in your house. And then soon it's just everybody has to do it. I mean, Mike Rivero, yesterday I played a news clip out of San Antonio where the federal government is saying they may chip federal employees. So, see, they always abuse their enforcers first, so then the enforcers will say, okay, then it's reasonable for me to make citizens do it if I'm being abused. Mike Rivero.